So I was recently training with this really explosive brown belt visiting from France, and I wanted to do a match breakdown on it because I thought there was a lot of cool takeaways. A couple things you'll notice in this video. One is this really cool knee cut system I've been using where I focus on ripping the top leg to me to completely bypass their leg to set up a knee cut pass, as well as a lot of focus on posture breaking in my attacks, both in collar sleeve and setting up single leg guard. Hope you guys like the video. All right, so we're starting off here in the grip fight. You can see I use my hands initially to kind of gauge distance. I kind of scoot close. He has his hands back, so a lot of times I like to start with the collar grip because I can pull on it to break their posture. Very often they'll break that, which gives me access to a sleeve. So I achieve a sleeve here and I immediately fall back to a lasso. I set my right foot in the bicep because when I have that foot in the bicep there, it's hard for him to pass either side. From here, again, I'm looking for that collar grip. Now that I have the sleeve control, it's really hard for him to break this grip easily. So notice he has a good extension of his spine here. That makes it harder to attack. So that's a good idea from him. But what I want to do is pull directly downward on that collar. Once you get the upper spine neck area to kind of round, your opponent becomes much weaker. It's way harder for them to balance just because they're rounded in the neck, as well as it's really hard to posture out of things. If you think of doing a deadlift, you usually want your neck straight, right? So from here, I progress to a de la Hiva hook. Now I'm looking to go for the omoplata. His elbow's tight. So what I do is I off balance him to the left with the de la Hiva hook, and that opens up the elbow knee space because they lose their balance. And I progress up to the omoplata here. Here he falls back to his guard to try to get out of the omoplata. So I kind of decide I'm just going to come up on top, but then he decides to not accept the bottom position and he fights back up. Again, he's very explosive, breaking grips a lot. So again, I try not to rush any grip. I don't chase any particular grip. I just take what's available. So here I get the collar, again, creating space first, but now I fall back and I break the posture a little bit, set my feet in the bicep, and now I opt to go to the ankle because that other arm was moving a little too much to be able to get a grip on. So from here, what I do as a pattern I really like to do more recently, I use that far lapel and I kick their hip out and set up to a single leg guard. Classically, we do this a lot holding the far sleeve, but sometimes just doing that with the lapel is really effective because you control their posture. See, again, his upper neck is rounded. From here, I want to feed that lapel to my left hand, but he tries to posture away, so I can't get it. So what I do is I use the crook of my elbow to kind of lean back, and that buckles his knee down into me, which then makes it easier for me to sit up and eventually feed it here. You can see. Once I get this, it's so hard to posture back out of the single leg. So as they start to stand up, they can't really normally stand how they would. A lot of people just concede the sweep. So here I come up starting into a knee cut position, but he has a reverse de la Hiva hook already. So what I do is I jam that top leg in. And an important point here is when I'm making my controls on top, I'm actually not thinking so much about setting up a pass immediately. I'm focusing on getting arm and leg positions that give me good balance and stability, and then I'm opportunistic on the pass from there. From here, I do this fast rip on the leg, and it takes the foot directly off the bicep and all the way behind me. Now I land in this nice knee cut position. I'm using that left hand controlling the far lapel. It both gives me balance to press on, but also if he pushes me back, pulling on it stabilizes me in the position. From here, I take a minute to kind of catch my balance, make sure I'm stable. And I'm going to quickly switch to a cross collar grip here. Ah, no, he let go. So I switch into a underhook and then a crossface with my left arm. Something I really like to do here is with that crossface, I kind of turn his neck and I use my right arm here to pull his hip up towards me. And what this does is sometimes people will try to off balance you to the left here, but by pulling up on that hip, he can't rotate his hip back. So I'm like kind of corkscrewing his spine, and it's really uncomfortable. And usually they'll just give up the pass. From here, I switch into kind of like a side control with my arm over, mainly focused on using my chest pressure to keep him pinned. There, I started to progress up to a knee on belly. He kind of explosively popped his hip, put me off, so that's fine. I'm more focused on my passing right now at this point anyway. So I kind of back up. Again, I initiate a Toriando, come right back into a good knee cut position. In this case, I opt to do a cross collar grip, and I really like this grip when they have that knee shield because from here I can threaten the collar choke and he can't lasso while he has that knee shield. And if he kicks his leg through to try to loop his leg all the way over, he's going to give up a pass. Also, by me having that cross collar grip, you can see I can lean my shoulder up under his arm, and that kind of diffuses his ability to push on me, and I can slide all the way through and side. A lot of times I'll just keep that collar grip and try to turn it directly into an attack. In that case, I went for an arm bar. Again, he was a bit explosive, so I kind of opted out of that. And I think I end up finishing with like a collar choke here. A lot of times I kind of prefer the chokes. I just feel like they're a little bit less hard on my low back. Sometimes when you go for arm bars, it can just be a bit much. And whereas when you go for the collar choke, you can just ultimately lean your weight on them and then you can get the finish. A lot of times I like to even go back to half guard to finish there like that. Nice triangle by my student UL there in the back from Spider Guard. All right, back in the grip fight here. Again, managing distance. You can see he's very grip breaky. So I caught the sleeve as he entered, fall back, immediately catch that collar. One thing I like to do here is I use that knee shield. It's almost like a reverse deadlift. I put a bar at his hip and I pull over it and that rounds his back. I even came up with my elbow to back up a little bit. So here, breaking the posture down. Now, you can't see it, but what I've done is since he was posturing so hard, I've switched up to a Kyotera ankle lock grip. If I pause it here, you can see my left hand has gone not like a normal ankle grip, actually went all the way through and back to my hip. So you can get this really good bite on their leg, and I butterfly hook his other leg and extend his weight out, and that makes it easy to drop him back for the ankle lock. From there, he turned his foot in, so I couldn't get the ankle lock, but I just converted it into a sweep, and I come up on top here. Now we're back in. Again, I'm always focused on trying to keep that chest extension. You can see my head is really pulled back. I have that good chest control. Again, notice these grips I have on the legs. They're less about passing and more about giving me a counter frame against his collar pull. You see, he's trying to pull on my collar really hard to break my posture, or I call it thoracic, like your thoracic spine extension. I want to keep that straight. So my left arm jamming that leg is like a counter frame against this collar pull. Right here, there I repummel. Now probably, let's see, yeah, I repummel again. Now again, I got my balance out on the leg. I'm using that right arm for a lot of balance here. You can see a lot of normal off balances they do. They just don't hit as good because you have that good chest extension. Here we kind of almost go out of bounds. We're moving back to the center. Again, that high chest position. There he's trying to pull and break that posture. I'm using my shin to actually counter frame against his collar pull. Again, I opt to go for that cross collar grip. Here, he's trying to go to the back, but that collar grip makes that hard. I come through to knee on belly. Starting to look for the collar choke again. Now I decide to switch up to go towards mount. Yeah, elevate that arm. Once you get that arm up over, it's so hard to get back. And you're going to notice here when I switch fully to mount, I like to put my right shin flat on the mat. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, well, I didn't have to do it so much there, but sometimes they'll try to hook your foot when you come in, and I'll force the top of my instep. I have it there now, but I have the top of my instep down heavy, and I keep it there. It makes it really hard for him to drag the foot back into half guard. Here, I got the elbows locked over the head. He kind of caught me off guard with one of these cheeky lapel kick in the gi skirt thing there. Definitely need to work on some counters for those. Those can be kind of annoying. Yep, so now we're back in the open guard. Just trying to get a base control there. And I like to do these where I pull the top leg to me a lot. A lot of people are always trying to turn the guy away from him, but sometimes just turning him into you is incredibly effective. So yeah, I did a little Toriando barrage there, got through. Back in again. Now I'm in knee on belly. I think I fed the lapel over, starting to set up kind of like a Darce choke. Now I did like a lapel Darce, and that's the end of the round. All right, guys, I hope you like this sparring narration. Please be sure to leave a comment and let me know if you guys want more of this kind of content, or if there's things that you think would make it better, if you like it when I slow it down more and explain more, or if you'd like to just see more raw footage without me even narrating. Also, if you guys like some of the collar sleeve stuff you saw in this video, I have an entire course on it on my website. I'll put the link in the description, as well as a coupon discount code for 30% off if you're interested in checking that out. All right, guys, thanks a lot.